All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hi, Jen.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. You didn't take your stuff off.
Not doing it right now.
Jewelry. Get that stuff out of there. So what I'm talking about for people listening, because I probably won't edit this out, is Jen wears so much jewelry that it was interfering with our audio somehow. I guess it's a common problem, but I don't know. We just have a home podcast setup. I guess we have some equipment. I guess it's pretty nice, but it's not like that's professional. I don't know. Either way.
I have to take some jewelry off before we record or we'll get a weird ticking sound. So
yeah, we were getting some feedback or ticking or whatever it's called. And anyways, we figured it out and now the audio is better. But today we're talking about how this industry will do anything but hair. And I'm kind of being funny, not. And I think it'll be a fun topic. And yeah, so we'll jump into it. But we always start with our
opening takes.
So opening takes. Are you going first?
I can go first if you want.
All right, go.
I feel like I'm on Bluey right now because I'm going to be like, my opening take has a title, The Girl in the White Dress. So Todd and I took the kids out last weekend to a newer restaurant near us. And when we walked in, got greeted, sat down, it was great. And the total experience was pretty bad, but the customer service was really good. So we ordered our food. We just ordered some appetizers, literally like chicken fingers, fried ravioli, pretzel.
Oh, hold on.
What?
Can I interrupt? Which I know our opening takes. So we try to just let each other talk.
Yeah.
We didn't order for 40 minutes.
Okay. So
but there were some customer service letdowns.
They were nice. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So yes, we didn't order for 40 minutes, and then it took.
We ordered our round of beverages, and 40 minutes later, she came over to ask us if we wanted to put food in.
Yeah, so you can see where I'm going. It was really a bad experience. And then I think when we put the food in, it took an hour and a half for the food to come out.
Yeah, we were well over the 2-hour mark. I think we're at 2:20 by the time we got our food.
So this is insane. And luckily our kids are fantastic. And the waitress had checked back in and was like, hey, kitchen's backed up. Your food will be out soon. And then I was like, oh, we're not in a rush. It's fine. And then I think another 20 or 30 minutes went by. And the kids are like, I'm starving. I was hungry. Todd was starving. So I'm like, all right, at this point, I'm so annoyed. And Todd's like, I'm afraid of what you're going to explode here, Jen. Cause I was just getting irritated. Cause one of the things we all have everyone has in common, is time, right? You can't get time back. We all have 24 hours in a day. That's the one thing none of us can be different on. And I value my time and my time with my family very high. And we had stuff we wanted to do. I wanted to plant. We wanted to put stuff together. We wanted to get outside. So now I'm getting annoyed because we're stuck in a restaurant and we're like, do we leave? Do we go somewhere else? But at this point, I don't want to put any more time in a restaurant. So I went up to the hostess and was just like, hey, can you check to see when our food's coming? And I just don't know. I'm not sure. So finally I'm like, can you go ask the kitchen? And she's like, I guess. And she's young, right? She comes out and I go sit down. They come over. It should be 5 more minutes. So cool. Maybe it's 10 or 15, to be honest. Food comes. And actually, unfortunately, it was pretty good. And the kids were like, I really liked this food. Could we come back? I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, you could tell our waitress and this hostess were completely stressed out. They felt horrible, apologized a bunch of times. And they're young kids. There's a manager there that never came over. To be honest, everything should have been on that manager. And he should have been the one directing all of what was happening and come over and talk to us. But he has these kids just basically managing the restaurant at this point. And then she comes over and they'll take some stuff off the bill, which again, cool, but you can't give me back my time. And that's what I'm annoyed with. Anyway, we go to pay and Todd was like, you're going to take care of the waitress, right? And I was like, yes, because none of this is her fault at all. And then I was like, I'm going to go over to the girl in the white dress. That was the hostess. And just basically be like, have a kick-ass day. So we're walking out and I literally walk into the kitchen and we got in the car and Todd, I can't believe you walked into the kitchen. But the girl in the white dress was putting food into the trash and I just tapped her on the shoulder and she looked at me and I gave her a tip. And then our waitress was there too. And I was like, you guys did the best you could under these circumstances. I hope your day gets better. And if anybody's rude to you today, just tell them to buzz off because you guys are doing fantastic. And I appreciate everything you did to make our experience as good as possible. And I think in these circumstances, sometimes you need to help lift them up because their manager wasn't doing any of it. And these girls looked defeated, like on the brink of tears. So I just wanted to basically give them a little cheerleading moment and let them know, stick with the day, and I hope it gets better. And even my kids were like, what was that? And I'm like, I just wanted to cheer them on. So sometimes you need to lift people up when you see a shitty situation. I just wanted to share that story to let you know.
Can I add a couple things
Please
just for
do.
fun? All right. Not hijacking your take here, but one, empty restaurant. There was 2 other tables.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It wasn't even busy.
2, when I managed restaurants, someone would come over and say, hey, my food is taking a little bit. And I would go, what table? And they would say, table 14 or whatever. And I would go right over to the table and I would say, hey guys, your waitress just informed me that you're having some issues. I'm going to go look into it right now. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime? Just to touch base with the table, because, and that's not me being awesome. I learned that. I was trained that way.
It's how it's supposed to be.
It's how it's supposed to be. And never once, I know you said this, but never once did I think you said it, did the manager come over at all to say hi to us or anything. We just got a message saying we're going to take some stuff off your bill, which we're not looking for a discount.
No.
I'm looking to support a local business because I want you to do well. And you're making it very difficult for me to support that, except your wait staff was nice. So I don't know if that manager just hasn't been trained, but I feel like that staff, I agree with you, Jim, was set up for failure.
Yeah, I felt horrible.
Yeah.
And we were there when the restaurant opened, so these girls had a long day ahead of them.
Oh, yeah. We were there at opening and we were there at closing. No, I'm just kidding. All right. My opening take is based on what this episode's going to be about, which is, I saw this the other day and I was so confused. I showed you this picture. This salon looked more like a Starbucks than a salon. There were coffee syrups everywhere. There were specialty drinks menus. They had sandwiches. They had charcuterie boards coming soon. I've seen other ones that are selling candles and hats and shirts and workout clothes. They're selling plants. They're selling pottery and mugs. And I've seen artwork. And it made me think to myself, something that I say to Jen often, but I don't know if I say it on this podcast a lot because I don't want to come across as rude, but this industry will do anything but hair. And look, there's nothing wrong with retail. There's nothing wrong with additional revenue streams. There's nothing wrong with creating a cool environment. But I think a lot of salons are trying to solve their deeper business problems with distractions instead of strengthening the actual core offerings of the business. So this episode isn't anti-creativity or anti-growth or anti-retail or anything like that. It's that I want to talk about the differences between strengthening that core experience that you can provide for people and then adding a bunch of distractions, which I think just fundamentally water down what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think the industry loves trends. I'm going to use that word there, where clients are loving consistency. So what happens is that you get this industry that's often marketing towards itself. Does that make sense?
I don't really know what you mean by that, so please elaborate.
All right. When you look at someone's Instagram social media post, what is it? It's either one of 2 things. Maybe there's a third thing, but for argument's sake, it's either the back of the head and it's saying how awesome of a job that I did, or it's a trend of picking on clients, or in a funny way, I get it, but making light of clients and making it how hard your day is. And 98% of your likes and comments are coming from people that are also in the industry, not your potential clientele, not potential clients. In fact, I'd argue that's off-putting to potential clients.
I was going to say harmful. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't care how awesome you are. I want to know what you can do for me. I want to know what problems you can solve for me. And so a lot of content, I think, is made, it's geared towards other stylists. It's geared towards educators. It's geared towards salon owners. It's geared towards wannabe influencers. And I guess everyone's looking at, in my opinion, the wrong thing. And why I say the wrong thing, because you could argue that's somebody has 50,000 followers and says, obviously it's working for me. Yeah. How many of those people are paying for you?
Right.
Your services. Out of those 50,000, how many walk through your door and hand you money? Because I'd be curious, because I guarantee you it's little to none. It's influencers trying to impress other influencers, and it's people using trendy buzzwords, and it's people using what I'm going to call performative luxury, quote unquote. And it's gimmicks. Everyone's looking for Instagrammable experience. They put up their wall, that green wall everyone had a couple of years ago. It's like fake plants and
Oh
fake
yeah,
lawns.
like the plant wall.
And then you put over your cursive neon pink
Yep.
sign that says you look beautiful, babe, or something like that. And that's supposed to be doing something for your marketing. But it's, I don't know. I'm not saying don't do that stuff. I just think it's that. I think that should be the seasoning of your marketing. I think that should be the salt and pepper of your marketing, not the main food, if that makes sense. Because most salons are just, you're marketing to other salons. You're trying to get maybe confirmation. You're trying to create another thing this industry loves, echo chambers. And you want validation. So you think, if I do this, and other stylists, I see it with newer stylists too. They post something, they get a bunch of likes. If you look at some of that stuff, it's all people that went to hair school with this person. So those people already know you do hair. So who are you
And those people aren't coming to you to do their hair.
No, not at all. So I just think that we need to separate these two things, because the industry rewards attention, which is fine, but clients reward consistency. That's what we've found at Hello. So if you want to solve some of the, how do you find clients? How do you do this? How do you do that? I think it's focusing on clients, and it's nailing down what you actually do. I don't even know if I have this in my notes, but Jen, I feel 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even last year, everybody wanted to do, everyone wanted to be in every other business but the service industry.
Right.
It was either I'm an artist, or everyone read Unreasonable Hospitality and all of a sudden we were hospitality industry. No, false. And I don't care what guru out there, what owners say that we're hospitality. No, we're not. Is there art that goes into what we do? Of course. There's art that goes into every industry. Is there hospitality? Yeah, sure. There is. But not in the same way as the hospitality industry.
Right.
This is a service industry. You provide services for people. And again, the hospitality and the art should be the salt and the pepper, the seasonings, not the main dish. All right. What do clients want? I think clients are looking for really simpler things than we're putting out as an industry. Clients aren't walking into your salon looking for some trendy concept or some gimmick or something that you've way over designed and complicated. We've seen that a bunch, or buzzwords or whatever. They're not looking for whatever the made up term of the year for red is. Like in the fall, I wonder what it's going to be. What was it last year, Jen?
I have no idea.
I know a couple of years ago it was Cowboy Copper. It's just red.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
I feel like every autumn we reinvent the word red. And I get it. Look, that stuff's cool. And you might be like, Todd, I have people that come in and ask for that. Cool. That's awesome. But I would say 99% of the people out there aren't looking for that. What are people looking for? What are clients actually looking for? They want to think stuff like, I hope I like my hair. Right?
I hope my hair comes out good. Yeah.
I hope they listen to me. How many times, Jen, have we heard, hey, I'm going to give you guys a shot, or how'd you find it? We ask, how'd you find us? What brings you in? And we try to engage with clients, and they'll say, usually found you through Google, searched online, and then they'll follow up with something that is pretty close to, I was going to a hairstylist for however long, and now they're like on the phone when I'm there, or they don't do a consultation. I don't know if I've ever had a consultation. They just ask me if we're doing the same as last time, but it's always different. Yeah. People are looking for stuff that's, I hope this goes smooth, because it's awkward. It's maybe not awkward is the right word, but it's uncomfortable to walk into a new place. So again, I want to feel comfortable walking in. That's what a client is thinking, not what does this salon post online that's goofing on clients. They're thinking stuff like, I hope I can trust these people.
Yeah, I hope that, again, I hope my hair comes out good. But when they walk in and it looks like a retail store, they're like, wait, are we selling apparel here? Or am I getting my hair done? I don't know which one. And then I can tell you right now, they're probably like, can these people even do hair? Because most of the salon doesn't feel like it's anything to do with hair.
Exactly. Yeah, if we look at how simple it really is. So a client walks in and they think things like, I hope I leave liking my hair. I hope that these people listen to me. I left where I was because I felt ignored.
Mm-hmm.
Or we've actually had clients that come in and they say that I felt that I was taken for granted instead of a client.
Yeah.
Think about how basic those expectations are.
Yeah, it's not hard to hit it out of the park. You just have to be present.
Yeah, I see people that are like, I don't know what to post. I don't know. And they put all this energy into trying to create this viral moment that's fake. And then they'll use words like this, I'm authentic or whatever. Value me. I'm an artist. And that's not what clients care about. I'm sorry. They don't. There's books about it. You can.
Well, why should they? They are hiring you to do their hair. That's what they care about. But we've lost sight of that.
Yeah, they don't need a performance. They just need some confidence. You need to be confident in what you're doing, but you don't have to be this fake social media person.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's what people are looking for. They're looking for attention. They want to be the center of attention while they're in the chair. You're providing a service to them. That's what they're paying for. They want professionalism. They definitely want consistency. And I would say along with the attention and professionalism comes presence.
Mm-hmm.
Are you engaging with this person? Are you building a relationship so that they want to come back in, so that your retention is higher, so that you have a more consistent paycheck?
Mm-hmm.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's pretty simple, actually.
Yeah, create reliability, comfort, and predictability, and then clients will trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I had some stuff about innovation and trends not being the same because I think people think that they're being innovative when they are copying other people. And that's confusing to me. It's like when you are just doing what everyone else is doing on social media, you're not innovating.
No.
Innovation would
That's
solve
the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It makes you look like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying don't sprinkle that stuff in. That stuff can be fun. That's like if you go on someone's website even, you're probably going to see about me, and then you go on there and it tells you everything that's nothing to do with related to what a client would care about. When I'm not in the salon, you can find me with my dogs. Okay. I don't need you when you're not in the salon. What are you talking about? And I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to relate, but you're just copying what you think a client wants and not creating a solution to their problem. If you go on our website, you go check it out. I actually have to make some updates, but if you click on the read about me, it'll tell you what to expect as a first-time client coming in to see me. Each person has this.
Right.
Don't look at mine, actually. I don't even know if I've ever updated mine. I always do myself last. But if you go on one of our staff members and you click, there's like a read more or about me or whatever. If you click through that button, it'll say, these are the services that I do. And this is what you can expect when you come into my chair. And this is what you should book, because that's solving a problem. That's creating less friction, and that's making it easier for potential clients to find the right fit even within our salon. Once they find our salon, now they have to find the right fit within our salon. Mm-hmm. And we have clients that thank us for that, because they'll say, hey, I found whoever, Jamie, because I wanted this service done, and she looks cool and she looked friendly, and I know that her chair is calm and whatever. Thanks.
That's how it should be.
I think.
Yeah. But again, that would be creating a scenario where it's all about the client, right? And the experience you want to give them. Yeah. And this has been forgotten because the trends have been over the last years. It's all about the stylist and me. And they want to be the center of the stage when they need to flip the script, and it needs to be about the client and their time, and they need to be the center of the stage in order for you to truly maximize, retain, and grow your business. If that's what you'd like to do, this is what you have to do to get there.
Yeah, I agree 100% with all that. And like doing the trend stuff, is that going to hurt you? I don't know if it's going to hurt you, but I know one thing, it's definitely not helping your business in any exponential way.
Yeah, like it would be, you're doing those for fun. That's it. And then I'd still be careful because you're putting out there a personality. Is that the personality you want to show to these clients? If it's making fun of clients or saying, if you don't come in, you're taking food off my family's table or whatever, this is what the personality is that you're putting out to clients, which can be very off putting. So I would just, again, it's like being mindful and intentional when you're copying trends. Is this what you want clients to think about you? Is this the personality you want them to be remembering?
Yeah, I think that's pretty important.
I would agree. But I think most people just copy and paste and they're not thinking maybe part of the effects they have by doing that or what they're creating by not being mindful behind the post. So,
yeah, I think copying is probably one of the most dangerous things that you can do for your business because you're not even sure the original poster. Right. You're not even sure they know why they're doing what they're doing. So
use stuff like that for inspiration and then put your own twist on it and then create it for yourself or your business. That was what makes it cool and will make you stand out.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. All right. Let's talk about this anything but hair thing because I think this is a crazy thing. I think a lot of you see this all over social media where people are like, "What are you guys adding to your salons to bring in revenue? What are your biggest sellers or whatever?" And I think your services should be your biggest sellers.
Absolutely.
If you can't make money from your services, close and open a retail shop. And that might sound harsh, but
That's focused on reality.
Everything and anything but hair. It's the same. So I think I might have told this story recently, Jen, maybe not. But when I was in the fitness industry, you would see, so somebody would open a gym, they would charge the same amount to the dollar for classes, their group classes. You want to come in 3 times a week or you want to come in unlimited. It was $120 and it was $150 a month. That's what every single CrossFit gym did for years.
And the problem is everyone's overhead is completely different. So none of that makes sense.
Exactly. And what happened was no one understood marketing. No one understood how to leverage the brand name. No one understood all these things. So including myself early on. And then what happens? I got to start selling supplements. And maybe I should get white label supplements. I'll create my own supplement line. You know what? People like CrossFit t-shirts. I should print my own t-shirts and sell those. Again, not saying apparel and supplements can't be supplemental or additional revenue streams, but they shouldn't be your bulk offering. They shouldn't be what you're trying to use to replace what you actually should be focusing on.
Right.
And I think by that copycat mentality, it held the entire industry down. Maybe not the entire industry, but the CrossFit sector, I would say, definitely was held down. And you saw a massive decline in CrossFit gyms because nobody knew what the hell they were doing. Right. They just thought, I'm a fast worker outer. I should open a gym too because I work out fast. Okay. That doesn't translate to running a business. Just because you can do pull-ups quicker than the next guy doesn't mean that, I don't know, I can pass a jump rope twice under my feet. So I should open a gym. Like it's crazy. It's the same thing when people are like, I can cut hair really good, so I should open my own salon. It doesn't transfer over.
No.
So then you get all the people, like I said, they're selling candles and coffees and food, which is wild to me. I don't even know. Is that even legal? Can you sell food in a... I know that all these places I see are all over the country. They're all in different states and stuff. But I would imagine that's some sort of health code violation.
So would I. That's insane.
Yeah.
Also, then if you're selling, let's just say this, right? You're selling, because we do see this, like food, candles, jewelry, apparel, plus retail. Like, how are you even hyper focused on making one thing really great? And again, if in your mission or in your branding, the name of your business is hair salon, then why are you focused on everything that's not related to the hair salon getting busier? And if your hair salon services aren't making you any money, then you are not priced correctly for your overhead. And you started off copying someone else or without knowledge, which right now, rather than adding candles and selling rocks or bracelets or whatever the hell you're doing, you need to
Rocks.
go rocks. I don't know, right? Paint some rocks and sell them because you're like, oh, that's free. I can just paint some rocks. You need to sit down with somebody, some accountant, your bank, somebody to help you price your services to make those profitable. Not worry about spending money to bring stuff in that you hope sells. That how much are you actually making off a candle? A couple dollars? That's not going to be enough. The services need to be where your profit comes from. And it's not going to be pretty to sit down and redo your service menu or figure the math out so your services make you enough money. But that's where your focus needs to be. Those are the pretty things of running a salon or any business that you have, or the not pretty things, that you have to do. It's just not fun, but you got to do it. And if you don't know how to math, then you need to find a person to help you math.
I would say before that, even, Jen, I think people should be looking at why they're experiencing what they're experiencing in their business. So if your business isn't doing as well as you want it to, what's wrong? Like, where is the breakdown? Is it your poor retention?
Right.
Is it the experience that you're delivering is inconsistent?
Right. You have to expose the problem.
You're probably a poor communicator with weak standards that you're not upholding every single time. And then that clients interpret that as a lack of professionalism.
Right. And no matter how many candles you sell, it's not going to fix any of that.
No, because you're on a constant hamster wheel with clients. Yeah. And then you're the CrossFit gym. You're the race to the bottom. You're the, what can I do? Discounts for, that's the other thing that CrossFit did. So every industry, it's funny because everyone thinks hair is so different. It's not different than any other business. I watched this firsthand. There was this race to the bottom in CrossFit. Why or how were people doing that? They were undercharging, first of all, for the service that they provided. And that we were undercharging for the services that we provided. And then we were going discounts for nurses, discounts for first responders, discounts for teachers, discounts for military, discounts for electricians, because I need an electrician this week, discounts for whatever. And before you know it, you're not making any money off of the group classes. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole there because there's a whole experience that I had for, I don't know, over a decade of running my own business, and people just expect it. And then you're training the clients to always look for discounts too, which is what this industry does. When you are constantly offering discounts to get people through the door, what do you think is going to happen? They want that discount. There's nothing wrong with offering discounts, and there's nothing wrong with coupon chasers, but you have to recognize people for what they are. If you know somebody, for example, is a thief, you probably watch them. You probably expect that at some point they're going to steal from you. If someone is a coupon chaser, you should expect that they're going to chase coupons, which means when the salon or gym or whatever we're talking about down the street offers a coupon, they're out.
Right.
And again, I think it goes back to fixing your weak fundamentals. And distractions, they're fun, but you're not going to fix your weak retention with cold brew.
No.
With FOMO.
Well, so this is the problem, right? It's like when you first open, if you don't know how to run a business, you haven't set your prices, you want to focus on your logo, your paint colors, all the stuff. Again, that's fun, but doesn't run the business and make the business profitable and make the business strong. So now you're in the middle of running this business that you're not actually running. And again, you don't want to focus on the business stuff because it's not fun. So you focus on what other cool stuff could I bring in? Oh, I would want to buy bracelets, so I'll sell bracelets. But you're, like you said, like you're not focused on the right thing. You've just distracted yourself on all the stuff you have to work on and fix in your business with just shiny new things that
for my gaming
we're supposed to.
For my gaming friends out there, you're trying to do all the side quests.
There you are.
Not focused on the mission, on the main mission.
Good.
I think if you just ask yourself, like, okay, so I have a retention issue. Okay, cool. Has anyone ever said to you, I started selling candles and my retention increased? No. Think about it. If you just sound it out, it sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but it's what people are looking for.
This is what people are doing.
This is the fix people are looking for online. And I just think it's wild and anything but hair, right?
Yep.
And again, I say that lighthearted, and I hope that this resonates with someone, and I hope that some people get offended because that's good content too, right? Well, now we've talked about what the silly part of the equation, but what actually creates long-term loyalty, Jen? What are some of the things that we can offer people to start to get head in the right direction, I guess?
So customer experience, make sure your salon is clean, right? Like clean, neat,
Oh, God, yeah.
organized. That's going to be, I would say, when somebody walks in, or if you walk into your salon, would you want to even be at your salon? What do you need to change to make the customer experience one that you would want to be a client at your salon? I find creating the relationships is really important long term. And I've had clients that have been with me since the beginning of my career. So you're talking 26, 27 years. And I did that when I didn't even do good hair. I was just out of school, right? So it wasn't my technical skills at all. It was my personal skills. It was my professional skills. It was how I showed up. It's how I listened, like you said in the beginning, the consultations. And then just when they'd come back in, treating them like human beings. Hey, I heard your daughter had a baby. Like, how is that going? Checking in with them and letting them talk about their life and letting them just be human and feeling like someone cares about what's going on. And then getting into the hair. Sometimes we'd be talking like, hold up, you're here to get your hair done. I got to go mix your color. Then I'll come back and we'll keep chatting. But those clients that I have seen now for so long, it was creating a relationship. And then for me, I just remember my conversations. But like for you, Todd, I know you put notes in our system so that you can remember touch points when that client comes back in. This is a huge thing that most people aren't doing. Just talking about life stuff with them when they come in and making touch points and making them feel like they matter in your business or that you care about their life.
Yeah, we've worked really hard at Hello to add in, I think, something super simple that people in this industry are missing because they take themselves too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a 3-letter word and it's fun.
Yeah.
And so many people will come in the door and they're getting their hair done. And while they're doing that, they're joking and they're laughing and they're sharing something about their life and they're being listened to. And so what happens is when they're checking out, they're smiling now because they just didn't have a stylist dump on them about how their boyfriend did whatever. And look, we used to have those people at our salon. They just aren't at our salon anymore because they didn't fit the vision. We had to look ahead long term. We're big on long term and ask ourselves, does this get us closer to our vision? Does this move the needle on our mission? Does this fit our core values? And if the answer is no, we have to figure out a way to move on. And that means from, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, moving on from staff too. But yeah, we used to have staff that clients would come in and they looked miserable. And maybe they're rebooking, but they're not having any sort of fun listening to you talk about your boyfriend and
all
what
your
he
problems.
did over the weekend and all your problems. So again, where I was going is this carries over. So when people are leaving and checking out, they're still laughing and they're still joking around with whoever is around them. And it's not just their stylist they're
Right.
talking to. We're very collaborative in lots of different ways. It's all about making the guest feel client, making the guest feel client. What the hell am I talking about? Making the client feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Whether it's your client or not is irrelevant. It's greeting the person immediately when they walk through the door. If I'm cutting someone's hair, I'm generally the furthest person from the door. If nobody has greeted that person within 3 to 5 seconds, I'll turn around and just say, hello, just acknowledge somebody, make them feel like they're seen. I think that's a big part of making people comfortable.
Absolutely.
And where I would go from there, Jen, is I agree with all your stuff about forming relationships and all that. And then what happens is people trust your process because you're displaying confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So now people know that, oh, I can come in here and just relax and enjoy my time. I don't have to stress about my hair.
Right. Because you got the hair.
You got the hair. That's the prerequisite.
Yeah.
That's not the whole thing. That's the entry level. Everyone that does hair has to be able to freaking do hair. So we can stop. Why I say that is because we can stop telling people on social media how great we are at doing hair.
Yeah, you're supposed to be good at hair.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. That's the entry level.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be. It's all the other things that you're delivering or not delivering or failing that separates those, what we've been calling tier A salons and then everybody else.
Yeah. So I want to say this too, and I'm going to say this and then people are going to think something else. So we also go above and beyond. And I think for a lot of salons, go above and beyond means like what Todd just said, like the coffee bar experience or having food and certain things. Go above and beyond to me does not mean any of that. Yesterday, we had a huge rainstorm and my client was checking out and just as she was about to walk out the door, it was pouring out. Her name was Stacy. So I'm like, Stacy, hold up. let me get you a shower cap. And she just looked at me. I'm what? I'm like, we just blow dried and curled your hair. We need this to last for days. She's like, yeah, I just looked outside and was like, I'm screwed. And I'm like, no, hold up. So I went and got her a shower cap, put the shower cap on her head. I'm like, I know you probably feel silly. And she's like, honestly, thank you so much because I want this blow dry to last for the next 3 days. So I could have let her leave, but go above and beyond was checking the weather real quick. I'm like, don't go outside yet. And then get her a stupid shower cap that we have in the salon. Those are things that like she's only seen me now twice. She just moved here, but she's going to remember that I just made sure I protected her hair. If I'd had an umbrella, I probably would have walked her out, but I didn't on me. But I could put her hair in a shower cap and protect her hair from the rain. And this again goes back to the hair. I was going above and beyond for the hair, nothing else.
Yeah. So what you just described is hospitality. That's hospitality sprinkled into your service. It's going deeper. It's asking, we're going to talk about this in a second, but it's asking, how can I take this service even further? It's nothing to do with coffee. So if you want to relate it to coffee, Jen, or drinks, what would be hospitality? Wouldn't be offering a Keurig to somebody. It would be remembering someone's favorite drink from a moment and then surprising them with that to remind them of a moment or something funny or something sentimental or whatever. That would be hospitality. Yeah. Not just we have coffee. Cool. Everybody has coffee. That's no longer what differentiates businesses.
No.
So I think consistency is another thing too, Jen. That's what creates that long-term loyalty from clients is if you're consistent, if you're all over the place and you're flustered all the time and you're just disheveled, and that's going to trickle into your experience. It is what it is. You're not doing the same exact stuff. I know a lot of people want to run their businesses in the cheapest possible way, which I understand from a broad macro sort of look at things. But when you dive in, the reason that we have Vish is for consistency. Yes, it helps us with ordering. Yes, it helps us with remembering formulas. Yes, it helps us with all that stuff, but it goes back to consistency for the client. So when people are like, is this worth it? And then someone else says it's expensive, or I tried it, it was too much money. Well, were you looking at what you were truly getting for what you're paying? If you're just looking at it at a certain surface value, this thing tracks my color. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. But when you add up all the other stuff, you add up the fact that we can talk about sustainability with clients, which is something they care about. The fact that they're getting a consistent service every time because we're remembering exactly what we did. We're not just guessing or, writing stuff on a tab or whatever everyone does. Yeah, I think that's an important part of it too.
Agreed.
And I think when you do all of those things, what happens is just people can relax.
Yeah.
When we started out, Jen, we would always say we give people back part of their day. That's time, like you said in your opening take, time is so freaking important to us. When I go into a restaurant, I want to enjoy the time with my family or friends or whoever we're with. I don't remember the last time we went out with friends to eat, actually. But we go out with our kids all the time. I do not want to be thinking, where's my food? Where's our food? Where's the kids' drink? Why can't they bring a lemon with the water? Jen asked for a lemon 3 times. Why can't they bring? I don't want to think that. I want to think, hey, what do you guys want to do after this? Or, hey, tell me about your day. So
I want to trust the process that it's going to be what my expectations are. And that should be the same in a hair salon.
That you're in good hands.
Yeah.
That it's a predictable experience. I don't have to worry about the hair. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So I can just unwind. I think that's what people are chasing.
I would agree.
And we can, we're going a little long, but so last thing, I think a tier A, what we're calling salons, focus on depth when everyone else is chasing that novelty. Everyone else is like, what can I add? What gimmick are we missing, for lack of a better word? Or what trend is going on right now that we should copy because we want to stay, this is popular in this industry, right? We want to stay up on our trends. Why not set the trends?
Right.
Why not? Why are you following other people that say this is the trend for this year? Okay. And I'm not saying there's not a time or place for that, but why aren't you just asking your clients what they want? That's the trends.
And they're sitting in your chair.
Those are the trends right there. Instead, you have to ask yourself, how do I make this actual salon experience better? And don't just use the words, because that's another thing.
Yeah,
that
you
people
have to
do.
implement it.
It's When you come in for a haircut, it's not a haircut, it's an experience. How? Define it. Tell me how.
Right.
It's like when we go to a restaurant, Jen, and they'll say, oh, this is our award-winning clam chowder, right? Because we're in the Northeast.
Yep.
What award? I'll ask people. They
Yeah.
hate it. They hate it too.
Because they
I
never
do it.
know.
I do it to be funny, but what award? What award did you win?
Especially if it tastes like crap. You're like, it's won an award.
Yeah, every seafood restaurant has won a clam chowder award in New
Probably
England.
their own award they gave themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So generally, I think for real examples of what we're talking about, we're always asking questions. They're so simple, but they work. And if you have to put the time into being true and being honest with yourself, but we'll ask things like, how can we take a haircut service and improve it? How can our consultations get better across our team? This stuff's across our team, right? How can we make clients feel more cared for? How can we improve our consistency? That's a big one we talk about. How do we improve our communication? Whether it's with our staff or whether it's with clients or whether it's how our staff communicates with clients or what words to use or whatever. Those are simple questions that if you ask yourself, instead of asking yourself, what can we add to distract from the shortcomings of our business?
Seriously.
Weak businesses are going to add complexity to compensate for weak fundamentals. That's what it breaks down to. So it's the same as when I got out of school for personal training, Jen. We were warned by our instructor to not use all the scientific terms we just learned because no one cares.
No.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to take your lack of experience, your lack of, because you don't have any skills at that point.
Right.
You have the prerequisites. You know how to give someone a workout. You know how to get them stronger. You know how to make them lose weight. That's what you have in your arsenal. So to make up for what you lack, you start using big terms and you start trying to confuse people because if I look smart, they'll trust me.
Yeah, so you think.
Yeah. But what you actually have to do is strengthen your fundamentals until they become that exceptional level. What was it? Tim Duncan quote, I think, was good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And I think if people did stuff like, I don't know, learn how to hold scissors or clippers, like that seems silly. But if you get that stuff down, then you can look at like the rest of your business, you know? And I don't literally mean learn how to hold your scissors. I just mean this person's coming in for a haircut. What can I add to make that service deeper for them? And I don't know if it's coffee. I don't think it's coffee. Anything else, Jen?
No.
All right. Cool. I guess we'll wrap on that. I hope this helps somebody. I was trying to be funny. The anything but hair thing is something that I've been saying for like months now. And again, behind the scenes to Jen, I'm like, these people will do anything but hair. I don't know why they got into hair. Maybe they thought it was going to be easy.
I don't know.
Not so easy.
No.
The hair part might be easy for you, but running the business doesn't seem to be. So again, we'll close out. Innovation, you need that, but real innovation, not just copying what other people. Creativity is not bad. Additional revenue streams are not bad, but don't use them as like a filler for the potholes in your business.
Right.
And stop with the side quests. All right, that's it, I guess. Bye, everyone.